Well, after weeks of threats from North Korea, Secretary of State John Kerry has a warning of his own to the communist nation.
Yeah, Kerry's in Seoul, South Korea, and he says the United States is ready to defend itself and its allies. Kerry's comments made during that stop in Seoul. It is the first stop of his East Asia tour that will also take him to China and Japan. Kerry cautioned North Korean leader Kim Jong-un not to make the mistake of launching any missile.
We are all united in the fact that North Korea will not be accepted as a nuclear power. The rhetoric that we're hearing from North Korea is simply unacceptable.
Kerry also rebuked claims that North Korea is capable of attaching nuclear weapons to its missiles. That is at odds with a Pentagon report that claimed otherwise.
So how serious are these threats, and should we be worried here in the United States? Fox 11's Alex Rinaldo got a couple of perspectives today from a South Korean native and an East Asian studies expert.
Hyung-Ju Soo is a student at Lawrence University. He's originally from a town outside Seoul, South Korea, so the latest threats from North Korea are a concern.
I am worried about the situations because, my family, all my family is living really closely to North Korea.
Seoul is about 35 miles from the North Korean border. Soo says despite his worries, he talks to his family often and says the feelings are different on the Korean peninsula.
Attitudes are really calm, even at the midst of all these threats, because they've been through many crises, if I should say, in the past of all the North Korean threats.
Lawrence East Asian Studies instructor Maddie Vegahaupt says this is because it's unlikely North Korea's threats will amount to much. He says the country's nuclear capabilities are debatable, and the country has too much to lose by attacking the U.S. or its allies.
North Korea knows full well if that one missile were to detonate over the United States, that would be the end of North Korea.
Vegahaupt says it's important to note this is not all North Korea's fault.
Threats and provocations are certainly coming from both sides.
Vegahaupt says, for example, Pyongyang sees U.S. training missions off the North Korean coast as a threat. He says it's even likely leader Kim Jong-un's threats are a backward way of opening up talks with the U.S. while still looking strong.
If you look through the past and their dialogue, they want normalization with the United States, but they want to maintain their sovereignty.
Soo continues that thought, seeing the threats as a way North Korea can ask for help.
Trying to squeeze the aid out of as much countries as possible around the world, but when they do get the help, they kind of subside.
In Appleton, Alex Rinaldo, Fox 11 News.
Vegahaupt also says Americans should also remember that North Korea was all but destroyed in the Korean War, and he says that part still plays a role in the conflict today.